The Lakers are destined to be in the finals this season unless one of these three teams gets in the way. Who are the Lakers' biggest competitors in the Western Conference? Stay tuned. You're watching Lakers Report by Chat Sports, all things Lakers. I'm your host, Hannah Kulik, aka Laker Han. Now, before we break this all down, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button down below so that you do not miss a single second of all things Lakers. And while you're at it, go ahead and give me a follow on IG at Hannah Rose Kulik and Twitter at Hannah_Kulik to keep up with all things Lakers and of course fitness as well. You know I love to post my fitness videos on my IG as well. Now, obviously going into the season, the Lakers are looking like they are in pretty darn good shape. We have two of the best players in the NBA and Anthony Davis and LeBron James. We have an extremely deep, talented roster, one of the deepest Lakers teams that we've had ever, and honestly just one of the deepest teams in the NBA. So we really are going into the season in a great spot. We're projected to have a great season, be one of the top Western Conference teams. But in the Western Conference, as we all know, it's extremely competitive. There are really going to be 7 teams in the Western Conference that we could really see in the finals. There are going to be 7 teams that are really going to be competitive neck and neck. We have the Houston Rockets, we have the Golden State Warriors, we have Portland, we have Utah, we have Denver, we have the Clippers, and of course, we have our Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I think at the end of the day, the Lakers can beat a majority of those teams, but here are 3 teams that I think may give the purple and gold the biggest problems this season. Starting with number 3, we have the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Denver Nuggets are a team that has been getting better each year, but last season, they really put it together and they ended up being first in the Western Conference with a record of 54 wins and 28 losses. Now, they have one of the best starting fives in the league. We have Nikola Jokic, who is arguably one of the best centers, if not the best center in the league right now. He's an unbelievable talent. They also have Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Will Barton, and of course, seasoned veteran Paul Millsap. Now, one of Denver's biggest struggles is that they don't have the most talented, deepest bench around town. They've got some talented players. You know, they have Monte Morris, they have Malik Beasley, they just acquired Jeremy Grant, but at the end of the day, they don't have the deepest bench, so they're not going to really be able to give the Lakers or really compete with the Lakers in terms of their second unit. However, like I did say, you know, their starting five is one of the best in the NBA. Nikola Jokic, like I mentioned, is one of the best centers in the NBA, one of just the best players overall in the NBA. And of course, you know, Jamal Murray, I think, is really going to be a key for them next season. Last season, he averaged 18 points. Is he going to be able to do that and continue to improve? Of course, Gary Harris, same thing. Is he going to be able to continue to improve, continue to be that kind of knockdown shooter for that squad? That's going to really depend on their season. Now, a lot of people are also saying that, you know, Denver, yes, they were the first team in the Western Conference last year, but that was just a fluke, you guys. They just got extremely lucky. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I think they have a very talented, very deep team. I think they could surprise a lot of people. I don't think it's just luck being the #1 team in the Western Conference, especially because last season it was, shocker, extremely competitive. But I am curious, do you think that last season was a fluke for the Denver Nuggets? And if you do, type Y down below. If not, type N down below. Now, I also want to ask you guys, my Laker fans, if you guys have a FanDuel account. If you do not have one yet set up, please go message me on my Instagram at Hannah Rose Kulik and or my Twitter at Hannah_Kulik because I want to play a FanDuel game for you guys. I'm starting a new NFL game and I would like to play with some of my Laker fans, but this is only for if you do not have a FanDuel account already set up. But I would like to invite you guys and get you guys started with FanDuel just in general. It's a really fun, exciting game, kind of fun thing to do, especially now that we don't really have basketball season right now. So I want to kind of focus on the NFL and do a fun NFL game. But for all the fans out there who do not yet have a FanDuel account, go message me on one of my social media handles and I will explain to you guys how you can set up an account. Of course, Chat Sports has a great promo code that you can use. And then once you set up the account, you can join my next game. So go ahead and message me right now. But let's talk about this second team that I think could give the Lakers some problems this next season. And our #2 team here today, we have the Utah Jazz. Now, the Utah Jazz have been a very good team the last few years. They've averaged about 50 wins. They finished 5th, and then 4th place in the Western Conference last season. And last season, they really had a great year. Unfortunately, they did lose in the first round of the playoffs, but they still ended up 4th in a very tough competitive Western Conference. They have a very respected coach in Quinn Snyder, and they have one of, if not the best young players right now in the league, Donovan Mitchell, who was the 2017 13th overall pick, but has obviously been the best rookie to come out of that class. He is already a bona fide superstar. I don't know if I necessarily agree with him already fully being a superstar, but I definitely agree that he is well on his way. He is an extremely talented player. In both of his seasons in the NBA, he's averaged at least 20 points per game, but he's only shot 43% from the floor, but he's still a very, very talented team. Now, they also have Rudy Gobert, who was one of the best shot blockers and rim protectors in the league, and this past offseason, they made 2 pretty darn big offseason moves that's going to dramatically help their team and make them even better. They traded for Mike Conley, who, as we all know, is a superstar. He averaged a career high last season, 21 points, and they also got one of the top NBA free agents in Bojan Bogdanovic. So they are going into this season with a projected started 5 of Bojan Bogdanovic, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, and Rudy Gobert. So they are really going to be a very, very dominant starting 5. But kind of like the Denver Nuggets, one of their biggest issues is going to be that bench. So while at the end of the day, the Utah Jazz have a very strong starting 5, a very good team, they are lacking some depth coming off the bench, which is another reason that I think the Lakers may be able to have an advantage over them. But nonetheless, they are still a great team that is definitely going to give the Lakers some challenges this season. Now, I am curious, out of these first 2 teams that we just talked about, the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz, which team do you think is better? If you think it is the Denver Nuggets, type D down below, and if you think it is the Utah Jazz, type U down below. Now, the number 1 team that I think is going to be the Lakers' biggest competitor this season is obviously the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, this is going to be kind of the rivalry, the battle that everyone is really going to be paying close attention to. Obviously, the Clippers have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, 2 of the best players in the NBA. But you know what? At the end of the day, let's be a little realistic here. I think a lot of people are forgetting about the fact that Paul George has had shoulder surgery in both of his shoulders. He's most likely going to miss the first 6 weeks of the season, and when he comes back, it's obviously going to take a little bit of time for him to get back into his groove and back into the swing of things. When we speak about Kawhi Leonard, obviously, a lot of people are considering him to be the best player in the NBA. He's coming off a season where he won the NBA championship, he was finals MVP, but he has also had his fair share of struggles with injury and has not always been able to stay healthy. Before this last season, he missed the entire year with a quad injury, and he's going to be coming off a season where he went into the finals. So he had a long, very demanding, very taxing season. So it's going to be curious to see if he's going to be able to bounce back, or if he too is going to have some time to recover after having such a big, strong season last year, really getting banged around and playing a lot of games. So obviously going in, like I said, the Clippers and the Lakers are the 2 teams that people are really going to be paying close attention to. A lot of people are saying, the Clippers have the advantage over the Lakers because they have a deeper team. They have some really talented players. They have guys like Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams. They've got a really great team. But you know what? At the end of the day, Pat Beverley, I think a lot of people are saying that he's much better than he actually is. Yes, he's a great defender, but he's not much of a scorer. He's only averaged about 7 points per game, so he's not really going to be helping them out that much offensively. And when we look at Lou Williams, yes, he is, probably the best 6th man in the NBA, but is he really going to be getting as much playing time as he has in the past? Because now they do have 2 superstars in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. One of the Clippers' biggest struggles, and one of the ways that I think the Lakers have a more advantage over the Clippers, is their front line, because right now it is looking like Ivica Zubac is going to be their starting center. Obviously, we know, Zubac is a former Laker. I have a soft spot in my heart for him, but he is definitely not going to be able to compete with our guys like DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis and even JaVale McGee. Those guys are much more talented, much more seasoned, much tougher, just much better players overall. So we definitely have the advantage on the front court, and especially over that starting center position, than the Clippers do. And also, when we talk about depth, I think the Lakers, if you're looking from our 1 to our 14, right now we don't have a fully complete roster. Of course, we still have one spot available, but if you were looking at our guys from top to bottom, I think we have the more competitive, deeper team. You know, we have so many great shooters, great defenders. We really are pretty loaded in every single position. So whereas the Clippers are most likely going to have to rely on more of a small ball kind of play, the Lakers don't have to do that because we are really locked and loaded, have a deep team, a lot of talent from really all ends of the court. So yes, well, obviously the Clippers are a great team. They are going to be very competitive. They are going to probably be the Lakers' biggest competitors this season in general. I still think that the Lakers are a better team overall. I think they have more talent and are a deeper team just overall, but again, I may be a little biased, so I'm curious if you guys agree with me, but that is going to be it for today's video. Out of all of these three teams, which team do you think is going to give the Lakers the biggest problems in the Western Conference? I think I already kind of know what you guys are going to say. Or if you think that there's another team that is better than these three teams that are going to present more challenges for the purple and gold this season, comment that team down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe here to Chat Sports and the new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel as well. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and until next time, Laker Hand is out. Bye, guys.